Tom, we're going to give it to you. Everyone makes so much of something that isn't even real. You try so hard to understand what someone else is experiencing, and you can't even begin to do it. This is the classic example of having your nose in somebody else's business and suffering because you're not the creator of their reality. And that's an insensitive way to look at it for most people, because most people think that they should gather together, cluster together, and support one another in hard times. But it is the opposite of what your inner being is calling you all toward, you see. And so these death experiences, you're right, they should be parties, but they rarely are, because people are so screwed up in what they think about it. And so the real party happens for those who are already on the other side, who are welcoming the consciousness there. Esther remembers once Jerry made his transition that someone was saying, yeah, well, my dead wife talked to your dead husband last night, and
she got pregnant.
No, it wasn't that. And he was in the resting room. And Esther said, people just make so much dumb stuff up. And we're just encouraging you to stop it. To stop speculating, to stop trying to figure it out. It's an individual thing for every single person. And really, friends, it's one of the things you really do not need to worry about, because once you're trending toward making your transition, you're going to make your transition, and it's going to be to whatever degree of non-resistance that you have, and however it is perfect. And it really is not something on your list of things to do that you really need to counsel people about. It would be
you don't think having a directive like that, you don't want to live beyond having to be spoon-fed or have your diapers changed, because I was really pleased to have the knowledge that those were the stages that in my mom, in her decision, it helped me know that that's when she wanted to transition.
Well, once again,
you're saying not to get involved.
The reason that we're saying it is because we're making a bigger point. And the bigger point that we're making is that humans keep wanting to calibrate to other humans. And if you could just let somebody calibrate to the non-physical, in other words, you want them to calibrate to non-physical, which means you want to make it not an issue for you. There's so much resistance around the topic. It's like, imagine that someone is 9 months pregnant. You brought it up. And a human friend is saying, while the woman is in labor, this is not good timing. I have a directive of what I think good timing should be. You said that you were going to give birth next month, not this month. You're in labor right now, and so this is not good timing. And we say the non-physical intentions are going to prevail. And human intervention makes very little difference in both what you call the birth experience and in what you call the death experience. And so there's this wonderful thing that's going on, a sort of global, you could say universal, tipping point. It's a delicious thing to acknowledge and to witness that's happening on your planet today. And it's around the pandemic, or as Esther calls it, the dampinic. It's around that. It's around economic flows. It's around political upheaval. It's around social upheaval. It's around a lot of things that are weather changes and all kinds of things that you are all witnessing today. But what the long and the short of it are, what it is accomplishing for all of you, or most of you, is that there's such a crescendo of things that you're accustomed to controlling that you are no longer in control of. That you are, by your own decisions, not because someone else is forcing you, you're coming to your own decisions to a sort of giving up attitude. And this giving up perspective that is being held simultaneously by so many of you is what is causing the new trending toward new living and better life for all of you. It isn't something that's legislated or orchestrated or demanded. It isn't something that somebody else can control. It's something that billions of people are more or less simultaneously coming to the conclusion of. There are just so many things that we cannot control that you are one by one and gathering in stronger and stronger numbers, just giving up that battle about things that you were never good at anyway. And we're wanting to put this battle with death into that experience too. And the battle with religion and the battle with politics. Jerry and Esther have a friend who some years ago moved to Colorado and bought a big piece of property, and it was a ski resort, a cross-country ski resort. And it was surrounded by a national forest. And one night, around a campfire, sitting out by the Frying Pan River, she said to them, there are so many things to be afraid of up here. I've had to give most of them up. And Esther remembered feeling this woman differently than she had ever felt her before. Her frenzy was not apparent like it had been in past meetings, past conversations.
Rocky Mountain High, that's where I'm from.
She was relaxed. She was relaxed because she couldn't fight the battles because the battles were too many. And so this is what we wish for you. We wish for you to stop fighting the battle of who should eat what, and stop fighting the battle about what's the right or wrong way to die, or about what's the right or wrong way to live. That you can live and let live because you don't really have any choice in it. There are so many books being written about the appropriate way to do everything, and most people are so balled up in the chaos of it. And so what this gathering is about is maybe finding a way of bringing clarity out of the chaos by not condemning the chaos, not fighting against the chaos, not needing to fix the chaos, but by embracing the chaotic diversity, by embracing the vastness of the differences of beliefs and desires and actions and behaviors and thoughts and words, by embracing it all in an attitude of, I was not born in this body on this planet at this time to control any of that. I was born to collect my personal data and to let it build within me and to experience, because of the powerful law of attraction, the evolution of my own desires. And all along, I had a relationship with my inner being who was guiding me every step of the way. And once I had enough experience to realize that what I was doing wasn't working, and I gave up the battle. It's like giving up. You're not giving up your desires. You're not giving up the contents of your vortex. You're not giving up your hopes and dreams and the things that you've picked up along your physical trail. Those are all intact. Your inner being is tending to every one of them. What you're giving up is the illusion. You're giving up the false sense of security. You're giving up the false premises. You're giving up what was never working for you anyway. You're giving up the need to control an environment rather than just live in the environment, be in the environment, be of the environment, be an extension of source energy in an environment. It's kind of a big message, isn't it? It's not such a big message. It's just a lot of people maybe not quite on the cusp of hearing the message.
It's an approach. Well, I just think people were shocked by my saying, my mom, I'm going to help facilitate my mom's death. They didn't know what to say to me, and it didn't really matter, but people seem to be able to have seen the humor and the fun and the joy.
Well, don't miss the point of what we're saying to you. They're shocked because most of them have accepted it as something that is just natural and going to come. And what you represented was someone who was wanting to assert or insert some level of control. And our encouragement to you is to understand that so much of the assertion of some level of control is what keeps most people from really living. You got to let go. And we know you're in a hard place. You put each other in a hard place. But that really is what we and your mother would like you to take away from this now. If you could have done it differently, what would you have done?
Nothing.
then don't you want to leave everyone to whatever their experience is? Do you really want to try to do something about changing the path of least resistance for someone else? Or do you want to help people understand that there is a path of least resistance and everyone is on their path? Can you feel how much harmony would happen in the world in the moment that everyone understood all at once? It's not going to happen all at once like that, but can you feel how if everyone could understand all at once in the moment that the path of least resistance is an individual and different path for every single person, every single consciousness that is focused? And can you feel how the giving up of the need to control others in order to smooth out your own path is what's necessary for anybody to live happily ever after? You just got to let people have their own way with life while you have your own way with life.
Right. You're right.
And
I understand.
that's what this is all about.
Thank you.
That's what this is all about.
I understand.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Really good.